I wanted to ask you something, Daniel, and this is never discussed, and you get called all kinds of names for asking something like this. But Daniel, as you, I have studied very carefully the ingredients of the quote-unquote Prophet Muhammad's life. I mean, look, how could I say this maybe politely? We know what we're talking about here, the 11 wives, all the teachings about sex slavery and, all that stuff. And then his marriage to Aisha when she was 6, consummating when she was 9, what they do after they conquer the infidel women. And like I said, the rape and the sex slavery, etc. This is all throughout the Quran, the justification of rape slavery in Surah 4:3, as we know, and in other surahs. For somebody like Huma Abedin, that was very linked to the Muslim Brotherhood, as we know, and her Muslim Brotherhood family, in some ways, was it just normal for her to be with somebody like Anthony Weiner?
Certainly, I think it was more normal for her to accept that as a kind of normal. So right. For her, it wasn't necessarily the same religious cultural background. For Huma, there was. And keep in mind, in Islam, aside from everything else, adultery is something the woman does. It's not something the man does. The man can have up to 4 wives. Right. He can have as many concubines as he can afford. And whatever sexual crimes occur, they're generally the woman's fault, certainly if the woman is unmarried or a teenage girl who's not being properly supervised from the Islamic point of view. It's her crime. So Huma Abedin would be positioned to be far more, shall we say, understanding of Anthony than Hillary normally should be of Bill.
Right, and if this was in a Sharia environment and protected by a Sharia environment, who knows? This might not have even been an issue for Huma. But because it's in the West and these things are considered wrong and immoral in terms of Western democracy and the Judeo-Christian tradition, this very much harmed them.
Yeah, so in the West, their faithfulness is supposed to go both ways. Wives are faithful to their husbands, husbands are faithful to their wives. In Islam, there's no real obligation for the husband to be faithful to his wife. In our sense, it's not a monogamous thing. Right. The woman is exclusively the man's property. It's not really a relationship, a mutual relationship as we think of it. Rather, the woman that becomes now from her father's domain to her husband's domain, she's now property.